Okay, so for this introduction of energy management and carbon accounting, I'll pass the time for Dr. Chong for a very detailed explanation. All right, pass to you now, Dr. Chong. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Teo. Thank you, Marcus, and thank you, Advantech, for hosting this event. Okay, so all right, so I'm Dr. Chong, the CTO from OpenRE. So and for the topics today, we'll be covering on the introductions of energy management and carbon accounting. And this is actually a very big topics lah. So I have only 20 minutes to cover. So I will briefly go through it. But if you have more interest, feel free to engage us. So we will guide you through this process. So I'm sure the participants here, you guys are very much interested in low carbon and digital transformations, right? And let me first lay out the transformation steps that you guys might be taking to meet your net zero goals. So this is a very complex process whereby generally it starts from the carbon inventory, or we call the carbon accounting, to calculate your carbon emissions. Then you calculate your carbon abatement, how much you have reduced, and then set your yearly goals. What is the carbon reduction goals and plans to be carried out for the upcoming years? Then slowly you implement your carbon reduction actions, and then for the carbons that you can't avoid to emit, right, you might consider purchasing carbon offsetting credits like REC or carbon credits, and eventually you meet your net zero goals. So next, so here at OpenRE and Advantech, right, we actually provide values in various sectors in this whole transformation roadmaps. So for example, we covered the carbon intelligent management system that complies with the ISO 14064, ISO 14067. And next, we also cover the energy intelligent management that complies to the ISO 50001. And also, last but not least, next, it would be the carbon reductions solutions. For example, the AI optimized equipments for energy savings. And we also have solutions like the renewable energy with energy storage systems. And even we provide you with the REC's renewable energy certificates to offset your carbon. So next, so by so with all these solutions that we provide you, right? So basically, we help you to reduce your energy costs, save labors, boost your equipment's efficiency, reduce carbon emissions. Eventually, ultimately, it makes your organization should be much more competitive in the markets. All right, next. So now, maybe we'll start with the energy layer in the manufacturing first. Next. Okay, so out of the in manufacturing, right, in the total energy consumptions, industrial can actually easily practically save up to 20% of your electricity bills. And out of this 20%, 30% of it can be achieved without any capital investments by using only the procedural and behavior changes. So the problem is how we can start harvesting all these savings, right? So like what Dr. Theo mentioned earlier, what gets measured gets done. So it's always to start by the energy management systems So next, all right. So okay, so unlike many standard practice that adopt by manufacturers, unlike evaluating only the monthly TMB bills, that is actually just a single dimensional measurement of your total energy consumption. The energy management system is a much more systematic approach to optimize the energy use in an organization. So with energy management systems in place, right, it provides you with a higher dimensional insights regarding your manufacturing, your whole process. And this data and insights can be used for energy analytics and to find out how to improve your processes, as well as later on we talk about carbon accounting. So these are the data to be further enhanced into the carbon layer in the future. So with the energy management system in place, right, you can expect with these tools, right, it can help you with the ease of reportings for different regulations, compliance, improve your efficiency, reduce your waste, and importantly, increase your profit. That is essentially the ROI. So everything is benchmarked, everything is measured and everything is proven to be to have savings along your efforts. Next. Okay, so let's go through some of cases and solutions that we have implemented with our customer. So, and as what we always say, the first step towards a greener manufacturing is always the visualizations of your energy use. So generally, on top of the total energy consumption coming from the utility side, the T&D sides, right? We actually advise and help our customers to monitor their critical equipments, such as a compressor, cooling tower, and air conditioners, so they know where the major consumption and how much and how these equipments operates throughout the days. And moreover, we also monitor the production level and at the production equipments, because they are getting more and more pressure from the customer side, where they want to know how much carbon has been emitted throughout their production for their goods. So we are seeing increasing requests for the manufacturer in Malaysia on this process related emissions. So once we are able to monitor all these energy consumptions, right? We are able to come up with some energy performance indexes, like some KPIs, like energy intensity, how much kWh per meter square that I use in my premise, or the energy use intensity kWh per meter square per year, and the specific energy consumption, how much energy I use to produce 1 unit of goods, and even some might consider to calculate the CO2 per units of good being produced. Okay. So next. Okay, so with the complete EMS in place, right? The other service our customer engaged us was actually the energy audits lah. So, and the government actually providing some grants, such as the energy audit conditional grants, right? So with this grant, you can actually engage an ESCO company like us to actually conduct energy audits to have a comprehensive evaluations of an organization energy use, and then further find out what are the energy opportunities lah. So all these things will be collected from the data that collected by the energy management system, and the audit covers different level, covering from the walkthrough level 1 walkthrough analysis, level 2 energy survey analysis, level 3 the details analysis of intensive capital investment. So you, through this audit, you will be given insight and proposal on like what are the low cost measured, what are the medium cost measured, and what are the high cost measured that you can implement to save energies. So in general, our customers engage us who can achieve about average 20% of energy savings for our previous projects. So next, in terms of the energy efficiency solution, right? And we're actually working very closely with Advantech to provide some AI solution, particularly on this hashbug energy optimization system. In these solutions, we actually leverage on the digital twins and AI technologies that continuous analyze and optimize the operation of the whole hashbug system. So for this particular system, we are able to reduce the overall energy consumption by 5 to 50%, and also increase the health of the system by 10 to 20%, and also increase the operating efficiency by 10 to 30%. So that is quite a lot that the AI can deliver to us. Okay, so therefore we should start consider adopting more AI in the manufacturing lah. All right, so that basically cover most of the aspects from the energy management and also the energy efficiency. And other than just energy efficiency, so we were looking at the energy efficiency aspect just now. So another effective solution to reduce your carbons and the utility bills, right, will be on the renewable energies with the energy storage. So in this case, generally we propose quite some projects for the solar with battery energy storage systems. As you know, the batteries actually harvest the energy from the suns, right? From the suns. But however, for those asset owners, you have 1 megawatts of solar above, right? You might have the challenges of you can't export your energy to the grid. So therefore, you'll need to do the net zero export. So that basically your PV generations, somehow it will get curtailed, you know? So it get curtailed and go into the wasted. So therefore, we also propose solutions like the battery energy storage system, whereby the battery energy storage system can charge during the off-peak period when the tariff is cheap, and we will then use it during the peak hour to reduce the max demand. And some of you might have the issue of max demand, and the battery will store the excessive generation from the PV and use it later of the day instead of just curtailing it. So, and you might think that the battery energy storage system, you might heard of it before, and you might have doubt that battery energy system is actually quite expensive, right? So, but based on our financial modelings and for the few projects that we have done, our AI-enabled PV with battery solutions, right? We are having an ROI of about less than 5 years lah. So, for those who has doubts, right? We also even provide zero capex models for you to acquire these assets, and that you would so that you can start enjoying the energy cost saving and also lesser carbon emitted from your asset through these solutions. All right. So next. So that is a very brief and quick overview on some of the energy related solutions that we offered from OpenRE and also Advantech. Okay. So, and now we will look at the carbon layer. So the carbon layer is essentially just the layer right above the energies lah. The energy when you go above the carbon, it will be on the carbon layer, and which is it is fall under the environmental E of the ESG. So just like financial accounting, so the carbons emitted from your manufacturing plant need to do carbon accounting as well. So generally, the carbons can be categorized in 3 different categories. They call it scope 1 direct emission is the emission come directly from your assets. Scope 2 emission is the indirect emissions that emitted by you through purchasing energy from the grid. For example, buying the energy from TNB. So the carbon emission is grouped under scope 2. And scope 3 is indirect emissions coming from upstream and downstream sources. So, and talking about this carbon accounting things, right? There are many standards available in the industry. For example, ISO 16064, GSG protocol, ISO 40067, and each of these standards has slight different requirements. And also they come with different complexities. So they have a complexity with data collections, how to collect data, where to collect data, data accuracy, boundary. So what kind of boundary you want to set, and many different factors that you need to consider next. So it is basically a rather complex process. So in detail, it involves data collection, setting the boundary, finding the source. Step 2, calculate the emission. Calculate the emission. You have to use the right emission factors that varies depending on the markets and the region. And step 3, to come up with a specific ISO standards reporting templates. And then the templates has to be ready to send for the verification in step 4 for the auditors or verifier to go through, and step 5 to review it to the stakeholders. So along this process, you might face the problems like difficult to benchmark against different regulation and rules that subjects to regions and markets. And it's very time consuming to do the data collection, processing the data, and the report that you generated is it whether it's an audit ready or not. So it is rather complex and headache process. So therefore, it's quite essential for us to start adopting this process through some digital systematic way, so which can potentially reduce 50% of your work hour and workloads. And importantly, you need to start it right now and start early, and or else if you don't start early and start right, more effort will be wasted to rectify things that got start wrongly. Okay. So next. All right. So therefore, that is where the value that OpenRE and Advantech are providing to all the manufacturers. So we are here to make the process much more easier, and our values, cover all the way from the lowest level, the field level, from the sensors all the ways to the level of authority reportings level. So you should be in a good hand with our solutions lah. So our OpenRE and Advantech, our solutions, right, our cover everything software, actually has a full integrations for the ISO 14064 organization carbon reporting, and also the ISO 14067, which is the carbon product footprints. So ISO 14067 is much more details, whereby it goes down to the products level. And our system is actually certified by BSI for the ISO compliance, and it can also not just integrate with the fuel sensor, but it's also go all the way for we can also do the integration of product from the upstream and downstream via the ERP or also the BOM system. And like what we say, carbon accounting gets tricky because of this coefficient database lah. So if you use the wrong coefficient database, you might disclose the wrong data to the stakeholders. So we have a full compliance database as well that meet the requirement for different markets. This is basically just a much more detailed view of these two ISO standards. It involves many steps, from boundary to source, calculation, reports, verifications, and review. So what I want to highlight is that through our system, it is not just only comply to the reports, right? This system is actually it is able to generate ISO audit ready reports. So by going through all the processes in our platforms, with a click, you are getting audit ready reports that you are ready to submit to the auditors. So if for those who are affected by CBAMs, right, we can also leverage on these platforms for CBAM reportings, whereby we can set the boundaries to the 2GET reports instead of the 2GRID reports lah, as required by the CBAM's requirements. So just one platforms that can cater for ISO and also for the CBAM's reporting requirements. Next. All right, so here are some of the snapshot of our system. What I want to show is that this system is basically a very friendly system whereby it guides you through step-by-steps from your carbon info, set the boundary, do the data inputs and imports, find the right emission factors. It's a step-by-steps. So basically, it's a foolproof systems. So so that it can be easily followed and handled by your admin staff from different departments. So we just follow through the step-by-step guide throughout the reporting period. And as what we have mentioned earlier, not only that we have the capability of integrating from the fuel sensors all the way to the reporting and also integrate from the ERP systems, right? So all these data are automated inputs to our system, but still we maintain the flexibilities lah. So you still are able, you are still able to review the data anytime and make any manual input or edits if required. Okay, so once you have gone through the data inputs and data review through our platform, and with just one click of the buttons, our system is able to generate you the reports for ISO 14064, which is the organization inventory, and also the ISO 14067, the carbon footprint study reports in the Excel or the Word files. So it's in the Word files, right? So you can still edit the reports accordingly lah. So it somehow streamline the whole things lah. So in short, what we offer together with Advantech, right, by combining the tech of OpenRE and also the Advantech, we are offering a cloud-based carbon management system that comply with different standards, ISO standards, so allowing your organizations to effectively do your carbon accountings and reporting, planning your sustainable goal, and also we are even able to do the carbon offset credits tradings. This carbon offset credits, right, it could be something quite interesting to your organizations after you get your reporting done. Okay, so you might be interested in knowing further how can you further offset your carbon with carbon offsetting credit like renewable energy certificate, or trade this REC generated from your PV asset. If you have PV asset, you can actually trade it to subsidize your green investments. So, and for these interesting parts, I think I will pass it to Miss Tan to further explain on this. Okay, so thank you guys.